Welcome, everybody. Get this show on the road just a second here. There we go. How's everybody doing today?
Good, very good.
Woo!
Mhm.
Our audience members, we would love to hear your laugh. So please, if you don't have a lot of background noise going on, unmute your mic. We'd love to hear from you. If you're dressed appropriately, we'd love to see you visually. So turn your camera on too. You know, if you're home and relaxed and more of those natural type of people, we understand. We understand. But we are comedians, so we do need that laughter. It's our cocaine. If you want to keep us off the real cocaine, you got to give us the laughter, one way or the other. That's how it works. This is our 60th quarantine comedy. We've been doing this since the beginning of the quarantine. So obviously, it's been about over 2 years, and we're still getting audience members. We're still getting comics who want to do it. So we're going to keep pushing along and keep it going. Appreciate you coming. We do understand this is a free show, and we by no means want to take away from that. But if you do enjoy yourself and you feel like letting the comics know, we have set up two options for donations: paypal.me/BD comedy or Cash App $button down comedy. These are comedians. This is how they make their living, and we're just getting back to the point where they can start making a living from it. It's still not quite where it was before this all happened. Also, if you have a lot of fun, please tell other people. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Button Down Comedy. We have these shows twice a month. If you're in the Asheville area, we have a live show the first Friday of every month. Love to see you there as well. Some of these comedians will actually occasionally be in the area, and we'll get them on those live shows when they are. So it'd be nice to see them. And also, all these comedians have social media. During the show, I'm going to ask them to put their social media information in the chat. If you like them, want to follow them, please do that. They would love it. And if you like them, you'll love it as well. So, all right, we're going to get off the soapbox. We're going to deal with some more fun things. I actually was in Vegas last week. I was at a comedy festival and had a lot of fun. But I have now taken Frontier and Spirit Airlines. So I have the ability now to compare the two. And basically you have a shitty airline compared to another shitty airline. I mean, you get what you pay. I mean, I went to there was Gate A. Okay. Gate A was where I checked my bag, and I saw the security people, the security checkpoint. I said, "Oh, how do you get over there?" He said, "Well, we got to go around this thing over to the Gate A." We go around this thing and walk over to Gate A, and there's a guy over there saying, "Gate E." So, excuse me? You got to go to Gate E. Oh, okay. Well, Gate E, of course, on the opposite side of the terminal. I get there, and I see this big long line, and so I ask people. I say, "Oh, is this the line for Frontier?" And they say, "What's the line for everything?" So they say the end line's back there. So I go all the way back there, only to find out that the line had wrapped around, and actually the end was about where I had asked the people where the end was. It's just on the other side. If I turned to the right, that was the end of the line. So after I went through all of that, that's just to get through security. Then I have to walk 14 miles to my gate, which is 28 at the very end of the terminal. So finally get to Vegas. And I'm at the Stratosphere, which is a big tower. And you go up there and they've got the elevator. You get off the elevator, and my room was 14 miles down that way. The elevator's at one end, and all the rooms at the other end. I think it's the same architect. It was unbelievable. But it was, it was cheap. What can I say? Now, Spirit Airline, I will have to say, I did have to duck to poop. I mean, it's like they have like this ceiling, and it's like this, like, yeah, it's like I can't pee or poop without ducking. But when I got there, I got out and I was on the strip, and one of the first things I saw was the strip gun club. I'm thinking strippers with guns. That does make sense, you know. I mean, it does cut down on the inappropriate touching. Turned out it was just a gun club on the strip, and I was very disappointed. And they did not take well to me doing the little dollars to the gun. Just, I mean, I was hitting the target.
Yeah, good one.
And of course they have Uber, and then you've got Uber Eats, and they now have Uber Fucks. I mean, easiest way to get the prostitutes in, I guess. They had the Van Gogh immersive experience, and it was so immersive that when I left, I could have sworn my left ear was gone. Was reading that Jason Momoa now has his own water. And I'm thinking, they're just taking his like t-shirts and just wringing them out into a bottle. I mean, I drink his sweat. I mean, sounds fabulous to me. I mean, it's Jason Momoa. Come on. It was strange. I saw a Dollar General Market. I'm not sure I want to buy my food at Dollar General. I mean, can you imagine buying a steak at Dollar General? It'd have to be like, this big. Just kidding. And I think Dollar General is now, it's now the banjo of the modern time. It's what lets you know when you've gotten a little too far into the deep South. It's like there were more Dollar Generals than McDonald's. It was scary. I could have sworn I heard that. I've been hearing a lot of people say, like, not to mention, and then they proceed to mention, or not to offend, just stop them right there. Just trust me. My favorite, though, is to make a long story short, which always happens about 15 minutes too late. How many of you have heard the phrase to drop a dime? Raise your hand if you've.
Yes.
Okay. Anybody know what it means?
Yes.
What's it mean? Go ahead, tell me.
It's to like rat on somebody.
Exactly. Basically, the premise was you basically made a phone call on a payphone. You went and paid. Now, for the younger people in the audience, a payphone is a box that was out in public that you would step into. It would have the handset, and you would drop the money. You would drop a dime. Mm-hmm. Problem is, the last time I saw a payphone, it was like 45 cents. I mean, New York doesn't even have them anymore. But to drop 2 dimes and a quarter just does not roll off the tongue quite as well. Then there's the don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Where's this fucking horse with the gifts? Why is he putting it in his mouth? Is this why we have stopped beating a dead horse? Because that horse did not have gifts. I was at an open mic the other day. One of the female comics was talking about the fact that she, was putting in her work, did like 15-minute blowjob on this guy, and it hit me. Say, women brag about how long they can do the blowjob, and I think they've been tainted by the inability to measure because men have been telling them that this is 6 inches for so long. Because I'm sure to her it felt like 15 minutes, but it probably was not. She did a minute, got tired. Say that was 15. No, that wasn't. No. I was in an accident not that long ago, and was in the hospital for a while, and they have this this catheter now. It's an external catheter. It's a little less intrusive than the internal catheter, but it leaks a little bit. So I had 3 nurses trying to get this catheter on my penis. That's not the fantasy I had. I mean, it's really, really close, but it's not the fantasy I had. It's not. And they tried to put a condom tip on. I was not hard. Have you ever tried to put a wet noodle in a straw? And the thing is, when you have accident, we've got trauma to the pelvic area, certain things don't respond well. And one of those things was my penis. I've never seen my penis turtle before. It was like the mole in the whack-a-mole game. Yeah. I said, come on out. Are you kidding me? Did you see what happened to the neighbor? But the other area that didn't do so well was my bowels. They did that. And I had a nurse looking down that area. And when a female is down that part of the body, I say, ooh, that's hard. It's very disappointing when she's talking about your abdomen. But they did x-ray the area. They found my father was right. I was full of shit. And I had physical therapy. And the physical therapist is like, give me exercise. She goes, does that hurt? I said, yeah. She goes, well, we'll push through that. I said, what's this wee shit? So I kicked her in the shin. Yeah, how it's wee. And, you know, my mother always told me, make sure you wear clean underwear in case you get into an accident. Honest to God, it was clean when I started. All right, well, that is my time. Let's get on to our opener here. Our next comedian, Yash, comes from Philadelphia. He attributes his entry into stand-up comedy to a severe case of midlife crisis. He had the choice, either comedy, a toupee, a red sports car, or a young girlfriend. Our next comedian, relative newcomer from Philly, and he and is raising the average age and average 10 level open room mics whenever he enters. So please give a warm round of applause for Yash Punati.
Hi guys, hello. Okay,
Yeah.
you guys can hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, good. So last weekend, my wife and I, we went to this fusion wedding, okay? So it was a Hindu bride and a Jewish groom. Yep. So wall-to-wall Indians and Jews, okay? So it was phenomenal fun, okay? Only thing is, if you ever had to have a medical emergency at a gathering, this was it, right? I mean, if you had to go into labor, Dr. Cohen right there, okay? Or if you're sick in the stomach, Dr. Goldberg. Sick in the head, Dr. Patel, Dr. Gupta. I mean, guess what? And if you needed some free medical advice and some wisecracks from somebody who's been on WebMD a lot of times, yeah, Punati right here, okay? Yeah, so yeah, I've been pretending to be a doctor for so long that now I'm getting targeted ads on Facebook, you know, offering to, you know, invest all my money. Huh. This was just last week, like, that's crazy. So now I'm not sure if I should take them seriously, but guess what? I've also been getting ads for funeral homes. Yeah, I wonder what they know, right? I mean, do they have access to my health records? Crazy though. Yeah, by the way, oh, more fun ads I get. All these women in the neighborhood, you know, they are so eager to meet me. I keep getting those ads all the time. I wonder how they found out about my great looks and amazing personality. Right? Although, why do they want my credit card information all the time? Possibly to buy clothes, because none of the photos had women with clothes on. So that's probably what's going on over there. By the way, talking about medical emergencies, this I'm sure you guys experienced as well. It happened to me a couple of times. You know, when I'm flying, you know, the pilot comes on and says that they have a medical emergency and that they're looking for a doctor. You know, I'm an engineer in reality, but I'm going to call this bullshit. Are you telling me that you never needed the services of an engineer. I mean, you have all those knobs and wires up in the cockpit. You must have gotten the check engine light come on. You don't need the services of an engineer. Or you have all those toilets in the back. Something's overflowing. Don't you need the services of a plumber? Always the doctor, huh? Or how about this? You have turbulence all the time. The passengers are frazzled. Don't you ever need the services of a comedian to calm them down? Although, you know what? At 30,000 feet, no one wants to see a brown comedian kill or bomb. Okay, so forget that last. So as some of you may know that I had an arranged marriage. You know what it is, right? When the parents fix you up to get married, no dating, nothing. Okay, which is actually a pretty cool thing, because guess what? If things don't work out, you can blame the parents, right? You set me up with that crazy bitch, right? Yeah. So I used to live in Iowa when I was single, and I was going back. And when I told my friend that I was going to have an arranged marriage, he was shocked. He's like, "How do you know that you're sexually compatible?" He said. That blew my mind, because I had no idea that was a thing, And guess what? After 30 years of marriage today, I still don't know if we are sexually compatible. And now we have fewer and fewer opportunities to find out. I mean, because you know what? We had sex in December last year, and my wife has penciled me down for November. So, yeah. And of course, I am excited, because I'm going to get laid in a couple of months. Yay. Right? Yeah. Oh, by the way, targeting ads and news items on social media, right? I mean, I keep getting all these hard-hitting news items on my Yahoo feed. I mean, the other day I saw one that said that Salma Hayek meditates in a tiny black bikini. Yeah, that's what it said. Clearly clickbait, right? But I had to click on it. I had to. I mean, not because of Salma Hayek or the tiny black bikini, because of the meditation. I was really curious about what kind of meditation she was doing. Yeah, that's it. The other day I was staring at this bikini photos, and my wife caught me. I told her that it was for a comedy show that I was working on. You guys have no idea how many times this working on a comedy bit thing saved my ass, okay? I know I kid about my wife. I mean, but she is actually a good sport. Last week I told her that I have to meet with a prostitute in order to make it big in comedy to get the shows and everything. And she was like, whatever it takes, I'm here to support you. Yeah, that's how good she is. Well, it turns out that was actually my mistake. It was supposed to be a booker and not a hooker. But the point is, she is, very supportive, right? So by the way, like most people, I've also been trying to lose some weight. But off late, the only weight loss I'm having is in the form of hair loss. All of the back is gone, like completely bald over there. I used to think that I had that salt and pepper George Clooney look, but now more and more I'm going towards the Vin Diesel look. Yeah. I know my Jewish friend said that he'll set me up with a yarmulke to cover that up. But the other day, kind of disappointed, he said that I'll have to get a circumcision done in order to get that. That seems a little extreme, okay? Although, you know what? Come to think of it, circumcision is a form of weight loss, right? A half pound here, half pound there adds up, right? I know some of you are getting that visual. Yeah, go ahead. Anyway, I'll end this with this last one. So one of my hobbies is history, right? So I'm reading up on the stories, of Alexander the Great. I can't believe how his people followed him all over the world, all the way to India, without GPS, without weather prediction, nothing. That's just mind-blowing, especially because at work, right? I'm trying to organize a lunch for my group. Nobody comes. Everybody has a problem. Everybody wants, vegan food or this or that. I could not get one guy to follow me to the restaurant, okay? It's probably the problem with my name, right? Punati is an Indian, actually ancient Sanskrit word that means the mediocre. Yeah. So Yash, the mediocre, I don't think that inspires, right? Alexander's parents were smart. They said, let's call him the great right from the beginning, and then people had to follow him. Anyway, guys, that's my time. Thank you very much.
Let's keep it going for Yash. Yeah, Yash, I think we're up to 4 or 5 on the virtual shows for you.
Sorry?
How many times have you been on the quarantine camera?
At least 4 or maybe even 5. Yeah, I've written down somewhere. Yeah, I always have fun.
Yeah, we always enjoy it.
Yeah.
Our next comedian, Chicago-based comic who is disabled and non-binary and enjoys the dark. Please give a warm welcome to Katie Zane.
Thank you so much, Geo. Yeah, I'm a little distracted at the moment because Yash has me thinking about how heavy foreskin is, because you said several pounds in relation to a circumcision. And I'm like, oh my God, how much skin are they removing? I understand why it's traumatic as an adult now. Like if it's like a pound is like, that's a pound of flour. I can barely lift a pound of flour. I don't know. That's a lot. Anyway, enough about foreskin. Actually, this is slightly more about foreskin if you really think about what I'm about to say, very detailed. I went to a music festival over the weekend that's here in Chicago. They liked it. It's referred to the festival for elder millennials and Gen Xers because of the bands that get chosen. It's like a punk rock alternative festival. And I manifested myself free weekend tickets like a boss, but it actually was amazing because I got to see something that I actually was sort of thinking was already true, but now I'm like, this is definitely true. And that thing is that COVID made us gayer. Like COVID made us so much gayer. Like I feel like quarantine and lockdown was just like a fucking queer pressure cooker. Like it was like an alphabet soup mix up. We didn't know which letter you were going to get, but you're going to come out knowing who the fuck you were. And I say this as a person who did come out in 2020 as non-binary and has a preference of they, them pronouns. And the thing is, like, having a preference of of they, them pronouns is sort of like agreeing to do calculus every day. But really, you're just teaching calculus to every person you fucking meet. Like, just every person, which is very much what I signed up for when I was identifying as myself. Let's see. Yeah. Also, like being a non-binary person, a lot of people are like, oh, it's a phase, or you're not really sure, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, no, man. Like I've been non-binary since I was a kid. Anybody who's familiar with John Waters movies? Anybody? I bet you Kirk knows. I have a feeling. Yeah, Kirk knows. So when I was a kid, I used to act out the movie Cry Baby. A slightly lesser known John Waters movie where it takes place in the 50s, and it's like leather jacket wearing, like smoking cigarettes, doing drugs, drinking alcohol. For some reason, there's a very prominent Confederate flag in that movie, which I don't really care for, John Waters, but whatever. But anyway, I digress. I used to play the Johnny Depp character from that film. And I also used to go around to everybody in my neighborhood because like I didn't have the words to express how I really felt. And so what I basically ended up saying was I'd go up to like every kid and very quietly would be like, yeah, I just haven't gotten my penis yet. Because I thought that's how it worked. Like I thought it would just like grow in like a haircut or a hedge or something that happens down there. I was very disappointed. Imagine believing you're going to get a dick. Like imagine thoroughly believing that's going to happen for you and then finding the fuck out like, oh no, that's not at all how that works. It involves like a whole bunch of doctor's appointments and like things with there's a whole thing. It does not work that way. But I will say that the kids were very all right in my neighborhood because every kid, like without fail, would always be like, just show us your dick when you get it. We're like, we're in for this. Like, this is awesome. I'm very happy for you and your future dick. Like, this is gonna be great. They were like, it was amazing. It was amazing. Yeah, actually, you know, during 2020, when I was in that queer pressure cooker, there was like an event that some people probably missed because there was a lot of other things going on. There was a particular toy that actually dropped its formality and its gender, as it were, and a lot of people got really upset about this. They're like, the gays have been writing letters, like, and they were just so upset. And apparently it was also because people very strongly felt that potatoes have a gender. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about formerly known as Mr. Potato Head. And Potato Head, the more this was brought up, and especially with like people being like, they asked for this, they totally asked for this. Also, my other favorite thing about like things I would read, I was almost expecting someone to be like, there's a penis in there. I've seen a penis. It's one of the parts you can put on the potato. It's a boy potato. Like, I swore that somebody was just gonna be saying that shit. But it actually turned out that nope, like they didn't quite get there. But the more I read about it, the more I was like, actually, Potato Head is the perfect mascot for trans and non-binary people. Because what is Potato Head? It is a toy that's its ass opens with a bunch of other parts that you can change out. And I feel like that's all we want. Like, that's all we want. We just like want to be able to like interchange at will. Like, I can have that dick, can I also have the boobs? Take off the boobs, just have the dick. It would be the best. I want Potato Head on my flag. Like, that's what I want. If anybody knows anybody at Hasbro, I do this, like, I've done this joke a lot. Nobody knows Hasbro. That's from what I can tell, nobody. Well, they're not giving up the goods to me. Rightfully so, probably.
I love it.
But in addition to being non-binary, I like to have other identifying things. Another thing that I am is I'm an asexual person. It just means that like sex kind of grosses me out sometimes, and mainly it means that I have a tiny horny window, like very, very small horny window, because I'm a sex favorable asexual, which makes no sense, but those are the words I've been given. I'm working with what I have. You know, maybe in 10 years I'll have better words. But no, back to the tiny horny window. And I have a tendency to date other people who are also sex favorable, because, you know, also tiny horny window. But the problem with that is to get your tiny horny windows to like line up. It's kind of like playing, do you ever play that game at the arcade that like the whole purpose of it was to like smack the button and like get the lights to line up so that you could get all the tickets? It was my favorite. And that's pretty much what it's like, getting those horny windows to line up. But what I really want, like when it happens, I just want like the lining up of the horny windows to like create a asexual bat signal that just like goes out in the sky and just rains sexual ambiguity again over everybody. In case they didn't get touched enough by the quarantine. I think maybe that's what I'm gonna start calling it, the quarantine, because that's what it was, the quarantining. Okay, anyway, we're gonna stop talking about that. Okay, I'm gonna go on to something very different, which is, you know, I think we all, some of us at least, I don't know all of you very well, at least I know I think capitalism's a little ridiculous. I know there's a lot of very like pro-capitalism people for different reasons. A lot of people are very into the free market. A lot of people are into like competition creates like better products and things like that. But also capitalism creates things like scented fucking trash bags. We don't need scented trash bags. Like, I wrote this joke because of how much I don't like them. Because almost every scented trash bag smells like poor people's soap. Like, you know what I'm talking about. Poor people's soap. Like that purple soap that reminds you that you paid with it with quarters. Like that smell. And I really don't need to do my trash like that. It doesn't deserve that gas station perfume. It doesn't deserve it. It deserves nothing at all. It deserves to be trash. Whatever. Okay, strong feelings. But I also think that capitalism has done something very weird, which is we now have candy that is like fucking other candy, but it's all like the same. So I'll explain. So we have we have not Hershey's. We have Reese's peanut butter cups that have Reese's Pieces inside of them now. And that is incest candy, in case you didn't know how families and candy work. But yeah, no, it's actually gotten worse because like not only do we have incest candy now, we have incest candy making like weird species mixing food with potato chips, because you can get Reese's with Ruffles potato chips inside of it now. Because I wrote this joke 2 years ago and it's gotten fucking worse. And that is enough about candy bars. I actually I went to Los Angeles in the beginning of the summer for a comedy festival because I'm very important. And when I went out to LA, I used to live in Northern California, hadn't spent a lot of time in LA. But one of the things I really noticed is that in film, LA in particular, especially Hollywood, it's always depicted very beautiful and crisp and clean and green and blue ocean and like no trash, everything's gorgeous. And like really, like what really was my experience is I walked by the same dead cat for 5 days. And at the end of it, I was like, do I pick it up? Like, is that how we do it here? Like there was so much trash on the side of the road in LA that I was able to hide my weed in a rubbish pile and no one took it. And like no one took it for 5 days. I just, every time I put it out there, I was very okay. If someone finds it, it's fine. It's meant to be, it'll be great. But no, one of the most like magical things that happened during the festival was that something kind of cringe happened more so than magical, which is all of our periods lined up because it was a femme non-binary fest. And so every single fucking one of us were on our periods. And I ended up having to like borrow a tampon. If you can say borrow, I don't really think you get it. You don't think you return it. So it's more like someone gave me a tampon is a better way to phrase that. But no, I got a tampon. But the best part about it was the person that gave me the tampon was Canadian. And so when I was like, got this in my hand, I was like, oh my gosh, the novelty, I've got a Canadian tampon. And so like later on, when I was like putting it into my vagina and I could feel America being upset with me. Like I could just feel that pissed offness. I felt like I was cheating on Mitch McConnell somehow. And all of the Supreme Court justices, the women included, as we've already discussed. You know. How much time do I have, Geo? I just want to make sure I have enough time for
At 12, so you've got 2 more minutes if you want.
Okay, perfect. So I was a skinny kid. So when I was playing Johnny Depp's skinny child, and then I'm kind of a fat adult, a big person. But I did start out as a fat baby, and by that I mean I was a 9.5 pound preemie. I wasn't even done. I actually turns out I would have been more than 12 pounds if I had been born on time. But because I was a preemie, and also I was a preemie in 9.5 pounds because I was so big and they didn't know how to read sonograms in 1984. So I wasn't just like I tried to come out early. My mom's doctor was like, oh, certainly this is you're fine and it's very safe to take this baby out. And instead, when my mom was having the C-section, they like went to take me out and they're like, this is not a whole baby, got to put it back in, put that baby back in there.
Oh my.
And this meant that I was the biggest baby in the NICU. I was the size of the incubator. I could just like touch both sides just very easily. Nobody was going to take me down. But the reason why I talk about this is because it turned into a really big lie in my family. I had always been told that my father had gotten a vasectomy about 2 weeks after I was born. I was my parents' third kid. They were done. But it turns out, I found this out also in 2020, I found out that apparently they waited about 9 months because they wanted to make sure I continued to be a whole baby. And in my mom's word, directly to make sure that I wasn't a dud. She's a very nice lady. But the thing is, I really, really fooled them because I have like 13 diseases and counting. I think I'm like the textbook definition of like faulty human equipment. I'm pretty sure. One of the things I really have to deal with actually is I have multiple sclerosis, which isn't pleasant to say when you have multiple sclerosis. But one of the things that I had to deal with, especially when I first started doing stand-up, I used to like pee my pants every time I'd laugh really hard or cough really hard. Kind of like a person who's had several children, except for I have not had several children. I just have MS. And I wrote a lot of jokes about it because I was new at stand-up. I didn't know what else to talk about. And I was, trying to be authentic. And so I wrote those jokes, but then my body heard those jokes and then doubled down on its bad behavior. Because now if I cough really hard or if I laugh really hard, I just come. And a lot of people hear that and they get excited for me and they're like, yay. And I'm like, no, not yay. Just like female ejaculate in your underwear, like a wet bathing suit, like the worst day of your life. I'm actually just going to end it there. I've got one more joke, but I don't want to do any more time. Thank you so much, Geo.
No problem. I'm gonna keep it going for Katie. Katie, the original Mr. Potato. The original Mr. Potato Head did not come with the body. You had to provide your own potatoes, a real potato, and you put the things in, which means you could put them in anywhere. So they did come with a dick because you put that hand in the right spot. And if you put the lips sideways in the right spot, it was a vagina. So it was already a gender fluid beginning. Yeah. And I think the trash needs to be themselves. My scent, my choice. Yeah. All right. Our next comedian. I'm sorry, Matthew. Where you out of? Where you from?
Oh, me?
Yes, you.
Oh no, I'm from South South Shore, Massachusetts.
This was not supposed to be a challenging question. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, life is challenging, especially in Massachusetts.
Our next comedian hails from Massachusetts. Please give a big round of applause for Matthew Lopez.
Hello, everyone. Hello. I have my roommate here who I threw a weighted blanket on so he wouldn't move. I'm not talking about the comedy show. I'm talking about him being here. No, hello, everyone. I'm Matthew Lopez, and I already know you're thinking. Red hair, Lopez. He couldn't be Jewish. But I am. And if you already couldn't tell by the sound of my voice, that's right. I'm from Boston.
Oh my God.
No, I'm actually from a small town called Sharon, of which we're famous for one thing and one thing only, which is our entrance sign that says "Now entering Sharon." Which was the most consent I saw the time that I lived there. So give it up to them for being progressive. They have public transportation and public, I'm not gonna say the word, but you get the idea. But yeah, I am adopted, and being adopted, I think about all the times that people have said to me, hey, have you taken that 23andMe test? And I look at them and I think, yeah, I have. On my 23rd birthday, I blew into that breathalyzer and found out I was 0.2% chin. Found out I was actually a little bit of Spanish, but that's because the cop fucked me.
Oh my God.
Now, while
That was not
I
fun.
was, I'm sorry. Who said something?
And that was in your room, wasn't it?
I don't think so. Ah, keep going.
Hello, God, it's me, Margaret. All right, anyways, so when I was trying to figure out myself, I decided to go to Fresno, California, and I don't know if any of you know where Fresno, California is, but I can give you an idea. It's a grid system, and basically you either go north, south, west, and east. And if you can't figure that out, if you actually work there, it just means you go into the sun and out of the sun. Basically, you burn your eyes out and you get burnt out. That's it. And it's about 110 degrees. So I became a comedian. That's what started my journey. But anyways, while I was there, I went to a furry Halloween party, and everyone in the audience, raise your hand if you know what a furry Halloween party is. Raise your hand if you know what a furry is. I see Geo and I see my roommates. So a furry is someone who doesn't have the social clap, I guess you could say, doesn't have the social forwardness, and create someone who is a stronger version of themselves and something that they believe that they can be, and connect with other people who believe they can be close to that. And I went
The last one was comedian too, and she was talking about coming out, and it sounded like somebody just talked.
Sorry
I'm
about that.
sorry.
All right.
Took care of that. Good.
All right, so I went to a party that were a bunch of furries, and they rushed to me and they said, "Are you still a part of the group chat?" And I thought, yes. But I don't have the notifications. So I think that I'm not. But I told them straight up, yeah, I saw about 16 wolf penises, and I was okay. Why? What's going on? And they were like, wow, we had a great deal of racism in the furry community chat. And I thought, racism? in the furry community, you animals, all of you animals, like what does that even look like? Is it a bunch of guys dressed up as dogs and wolves marching around like a straight pride parade saying we're not racist, we don't even see color? Is it a bunch of people reacting saying, did you just assume my breed? How dare you? This will never work out. But then I thought, how do we teach people? And then it hit me. In the arms of the angels. Hi, I'm Sarah McLaughlin. Try my new Botox. Hold on. No, but I'm Sarah McLaughlin. And I want to talk to you about racism in the furry community. You see, we have a man next to me. He is a redhead, and he is being accused of being, well, he's dressed as a fox, and he's been accused of being sly. And then next to him is a raccoon. This raccoon. This function has been called the age-old, god-awful racist term, a thief. Next to him, this man. What was it? I need you to tell me though. Oh yeah. This man has been dressed as a lion, and he has been just berated with a tiger. Yeah, wrap it up. All right. So we've got 2 looks, and that's it.
I got 2 looks. This is it.
But thank you. That's all I've got.
All right. All right. Give a round of applause for Matty B. Matty B. Lopez. So I think you need to get the hair cut to really get that Sarah McLaughlin imitation down. All right, I want to thank everybody for coming. If you had a good time, please join us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Follow us, comment. If the comics take a minute and just put their social media information in the chat, if anybody wants to follow you guys, they can pull that from there. That'd be great. And then if you had a good time and want to let the comics know, again, paypal.me /BD comedy or Cash App $ button down comedy. Whatever is donated will go to the comics. Thanks everybody for coming. And we actually had a nice showing, especially since Matt brought 4 people in his Zoom chat, Zoom window.
Oh, well, I brought my roommates and you know, they all wanna meet people around the world.
A truly captive audience.
Oh,
Captivated.
Are they helping us our will?
but he
The
did use the way
ropes
he
have
blank.
a number that I sent to your address. You can unlock that number with the envelope and find out the address of this place.
No,
And then you can unlock them. Good luck. And I have a very special set of skills, which is not remembering anything after this moment. So good luck to you. I'm the source. I don't know.
That sounds like the weirdest escape room ever.
We're still here.
Did I escape?
We did.
Slam the button, please.
The backwards escape room. You can get out. It's when you come in. That's the challenge.
Yes.
Oh, that had some sexual innuendo I did not intend.
All right. Well,
All right.
thanks, Geo.
Uh,
This was fun. Thanks, guys.
It will be October 14th. Please join us if you have the time. Again, that information will always be on our Button Down Comedy Facebook page, Instagram, and Twitter.
October 14th.
Got it.
Yep.